Good morning and welcome to NewsDive. It's Wednesday, August 27th, 2025, and the time is 6 o'clock. Here are today's top stories from Sri Lanka and around the world. In our top local news, former President Ranil Wickremesinghe, who was arrested on August 22nd over alleged misuse of state funds during a London visit, has been granted bail by the Colombo Fort Magistrates Court. However, he remains hospitalized for a few more days to receive medical treatment. The court case is set to resume on October 29th. The Attorney General's Department opposed the bail, citing ongoing investigations. Meanwhile, President Anura Kumara Dissanayake has announced plans to reclaim all state-owned houses allocated to former presidents once new legislation is passed in September. This move is part of the government's efforts to ensure accountability and proper use of state assets. President Dissanayake also reaffirmed his commitment to equal justice for all citizens and vowed tough action against corruption, emphasizing that no one is above the law. In other political developments, opposition leader Sajith Premadasa has appealed to Prince William for support in wild elephant conservation efforts in Sri Lanka by handing over a letter to the British High Commissioner. On the streets of Colombo, heavy traffic and protests themed against repression caused significant congestion near the Fort Magistrates Court during Ranil Wickremesinghe's court hearing. A police officer was injured during these demonstrations. Turning to international news, Ukrainian forces have admitted that Russian troops have crossed into the eastern industrial region of Dnipropetrovsk, intensifying the ongoing conflict. The United States has imposed 50% tariffs on Indian goods, affecting sectors such as apparel and textiles. In response, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has called for a Made in India initiative to boost domestic production. In ethical investment news, Norway's $2 trillion wealth fund has divested from Caterpillar and 5 Israeli banks over alleged violations of international humanitarian law in conflict zones. Meanwhile, a massive dust storm has hit Arizona in the United States, causing visibility issues and transportation delays. On a lighter note, British tennis star Emma Raducanu advanced with her quickest Grand Slam victory to date at the U.S. Open. In the economy and business sector, Sri Lanka's apparel exports grew by 9.84% in July 2025, reaching $455.16 million compared to last year. Lanka IOC has appointed Anuj Jain, with over 28 years of experience in the oil and gas sector, as its new chairman, replacing Satish Kumar Viduguri. The Colombo Stock Exchange showed mixed performance amid political uncertainty, with cautious investor sentiment prevailing. To ease congestion, Bandaranaike International Airport will extend its night landing peak period from 4 to 6 hours, increasing immigration counters and staff. The government has also launched a major coconut revival program aiming to increase production to 4,200 million nuts by 2030, including a new Northern Coconut Triangle development and subsidized fertilizer programs. Additionally, a U.S. congressional staff delegation is visiting Sri Lanka to strengthen parliamentary and civil society ties. In politics and governance, opposition parties, including the Samaji Jana Balavegaya, have accused the ruling National People's Power government of seeking one-party dominance. The British High Commission has denied claims that High Commissioner Andrew Patrick attended Ranil Wickremesinghe's court hearing. The Bar Association of Sri Lanka has called for punitive action against individuals posting defamatory content against the judiciary. Former State Minister Shashindra Rajapaksa has been further remanded until August 29th in connection with bribery investigations. On health and social news, former Deputy Director of the Prison Hospital, Dr. Hemantha Renasinghe, was granted bail with travel restrictions after being arrested on bribery charges related to inmate hospital stays. Veterinary experts at Peradeniya University successfully performed a rare surgery to remove an unusual growth from a viper. Also, a police officer was injured during opposition protests in Colombo. In sports, Zimbabwe announced its ODI squad for the upcoming 2-match series against Sri Lanka starting August 29th, with Brendan Taylor making a comeback. Bangladesh's Shakib Al Hassan achieved a historic milestone in T20 cricket, becoming the first player to record over 500 wickets and 7,000 runs. Local champions Dinara and Sanka secured the mixed doubles title in a recent tournament, while Kurunagala's Vanuli shone at the 111th National Tennis Championship. Turning to entertainment and culture, legendary film producer Frank Price, known for hits like Ghostbusters and Tootsie, has died at the age of 95. South Park's 27th season will continue with a week-on, week-off schedule, stretching its 10-episode run through December due to topical content. Several bands pulled out of the UK's Victorious Festival following controversy over the display of a Palestinian flag. Rapper Lil Nas X pleaded not guilty after an arrest in Los Angeles related to an incident where he was found wandering naked in the streets. In environment and wildlife news, a 3-year-old baby elephant with a gunshot wound is receiving treatment at Kalawewa National Park and is expected to recover fully. Sri Lanka's major plantation companies are embracing regenerative agriculture to enhance environmental resilience. Looking ahead, the Sri Lanka FinTech Summit 2025 is scheduled soon, aiming to spark a digital economic renaissance with global media partners joining. The National Enterprise Development Authority will host the Made in Sri Lanka Trade Fair in Arugambay to promote local products. On September 2nd, the Cap Thiru Sevilla Coconut Development Phase will be launched in Pudukkad by President Dasanayake, focusing on northern coconut cultivation expansion. In market updates, foreign investors have sold Sri Lankan government securities for the second consecutive week, net selling 1.34 billion rupees despite earlier inflows this year. President Dasanayake has removed Chindaka Mendes from his position as Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission. To summarize, today's news is dominated by political and legal developments surrounding former President Ranil Wickremesinghe, government efforts to reclaim state assets, and anti-corruption measures. Economic indicators show steady growth in apparel exports and steps to ease airport congestion. Internationally, trade tensions and geopolitical conflicts continue. Sports highlights include historic milestones and upcoming series, while cultural and environmental stories reflect ongoing challenges and progress. That wraps up this morning's NewsDive update. Thank you for joining us. Have a great day ahead.